I want to start by thanking you for your work. I also want to acknowledge that um, I don't know if you've heard, but the board is interested in proportional impact fees. And I understand that quite a bit as I read through the item. Ironically, it references proportionality as was just referenced in a very different concept of what we voted on. I understand that the one pager and also the comments. The one pager is very clear about stating that capacity charges are not impact fees. It states a lot of code and law, but I would argue that we're missing the mark. And when did you start the contract with on the rate study? How long ago?
I believe it was in the fall.
Yeah. How long would it take to do a full nexus study?
We are planning a pretty comprehensive rate study starting again this late summer, this fall. That would take us through the end of this coming fiscal year, we believe. So several months.
Yeah, I mean, I could go through a lot of, I mean, this could be a long discussion, but when I first met with you all, we didn't have the results of the study. It's quite shocking to think that some of these numbers went from 6,000 to 60,000 and what would be the potential equivalent. And then option B based upon a formula, but yet at the same time, I appreciate the details a little bit about depreciation, 10%, but to look at the difference between some of them, a projection in Sonoma Valley, that's what's our largest, of it increasing by $2,000 when the highest cap could be 50 versus other areas where I'm kind of at a strange moment here because what I'd rather do is say, keep your current charges and let's do deeper studies and workshop this and go through it, because this was one of the key aspects of, for me, everything that's about impact fees and proportionality. I just want to tell you that I respect the work, but I don't feel like what is being brought here today before us to approve is tenable without more outreach, without other options on the table. And I can go as deep as we want to. I mean, I got a lot of questions and a lot of details, but I'm kind of interested in you all, but also my colleagues' desire and where we want to go with this, because I'll just tell you the truth is I'd be more interested in saying what was brought here. I'd like to see more outreach. I'd like to see more impact of us increasing from, in some of these areas, these fees. I think the usage of the word proportionality and the usage of the word equity in the staff report doesn't achieve proportionality nor equity. And I don't say that with attacks. I just say, I believe there's a big disconnect from my perspective. So I'm going to stop and go to my colleagues and kind of see where they want to go. But I just want to say that I met with you all once. I know you've met with some individuals. I kind of asked, why are we seeing this right now on May 13th when I haven't gotten deeper briefings? I know you've met with groups. I just don't, I just want to tell you, I'm not there. And I depending on how deep all my colleagues want to go, I'm prepared to go deep on this. Thank you. I think, as you said, there's the sewer rates, right? Which the study showed that even though it's difficult, we're not overcharging for what comparatively there is. So I'd be okay with moving forward with that. But with the capacity charges, I would prefer the option of continuing our status quo prospect of what we've done and figure out where the creativity and how we work more in line for the vision of what AB 602 is. There's nobody here advocating for the houses that have yet to be built. And as you say, is the connections that are there. Prop 218 protects ratepayers. And I still just struggle. This issue of fairness keeps coming up, these words, fairness, proportionality, and equity. And the whole idea of fairness for me is that, well, it's not, I don't see it as fair that somebody, a small 800 square foot apartment would pay the same, would pay the same amount as 6 people in a bedroom. So I understand that we are using existing process and law to achieve this, but I wouldn't be able to vote for that. So I'd be voting to move forward with the sewer rates and the rate relief program, and then not to move forward, to move forward as we did in the past and bring back a full nexus study and a plan on this. Thank you.
What I'm hearing is a consensus on no capacity charges, but I want to make sure I understand that correctly for the record, which would be actually Exhibit A to the resolution on capacity charges will not have the table that's there as proposed B, but instead will say maintain 24-25 capacity charge rates.
What I would love to say is I move to support what was just said by staff. Because we do have A through E.
You can accept staff recommendation with the exception of the resolution on capacity charges, which will instead say to maintain those capacity charges at 24-25.
So moved.